Emmanuel Mosley is back with the Detroit Lions. Adam Schefter, the first to report that we saw. At this hour, the Lions are re-signing cornerback Emmanuel Moseley to a one-year deal before he can enter free agency per source. Moseley injured his ACL during the first game for Detroit in Week 5 versus Carolina Panthers 1 year after he had torn his other ACL, but the Lions are bringing him back. Okay. We don't know how much money, which you look at that and you go, all right, well, that's it's an interesting risk, and we have no idea how much for. None. So it's hard to judge whether or not this is a good or a bad move. You don't want it to be for too much money, given that it seems like a high risk. Dude lasted 2 plays before he tore his other ACL, which is pretty remarkable. But it makes you wonder if he's got some sort of ligament defect.
Well, don't they say, though, if you tear your ACL, you can come back from it, be stronger than ever? So if you tear your other ACL, come back to it. Now you've reconstructed both knees.
Are we getting a perfect version of Emmanuel Moseley?
We get the best one we can. Of course, it all comes down to the money, right? I mean, if the money is right, then it makes sense. And it sounds like it's going to be a really low risk money thrown at him. But obviously he wants to be here. Did they see enough in the 2 plays that say you got to have him?
I think they must have. No, I don't know. He'll be 28 before next season starts. He had signed a $4.4 million contract with the San Francisco 49ers in 2022 when he tore one ACL. Signed a $3 million deal with Detroit when he tore the other ACL. I mean, are we to presume that number goes down? I mean, is he signing a $2 million deal now? And is it a calculated risk that is worth it? Like all the things, here's the way to look at it. Here's the way I'm looking at it. All the things that we thought were true about Emmanuel Moseley going into last year, are they still true another ACL later?
Well, the thing is, when he heard it previously, he heard it well into the season, right? So we knew that starting training camp that he likely wasn't going to be coming back right away. And but he was working out, and it took a couple weeks before he did make his debut, and then got hurt right away. So because he got hurt right away, will he be fully recovered and a full participant in training camp when they meet up in late July? Is he ready to go? Like if they had to play games in August 1st, would he be ready to play? I don't know, but I would, if that's the case, if the ACL tear that he suffered isn't one of the horrific ones, and that it's one that you can come back ahead of schedule, okay. But they have the medicals on this, and they made the signing.
So if you're Moseley and you had your 2022 season end with a torn ACL and your 2023 season end with a torn ACL, but you were on a 1-year contract and starting next Monday he could be on the open market, is there reason to believe that his agent got nary a sniff and he's got no other choice?
I mean, it's possible, I guess, or is it just something within the player himself, and he's like, look, I need to prove myself. Do you feel like you stole money last year because you got hurt? I don't know what the deal is, or is it just simply, I love this team, I love what they're doing, I want to be part of it. If I'm going to, eschew getting twice as much money on the open market, so be it. I like what they're doing here. I want to play here.
Kang, what do you make of this?
I honestly don't get it. I mean, they're going to sign more guys, right?
Yep.
Guys that aren't going to make the team. But they'll try out, they'll practice, they'll play, in camp, and maybe even preseason they end up getting cut. Moseley can't even do that. Like, they're signing him to try to reclaim what he had 2 years. He's played 2 snaps in 2 years. And I like E-Man. I was excited when they signed him to a 1-year deal and thought, hey, this could be the starting corner opposite Sutton. But I don't know what they're waiting for. Like, I honestly don't understand this. you're going to be waiting again. His other ACL. I mean, at some point is he going to be like Blade Runner out there? Like he has two bad knees, right? Two bad ACLs. And you can't even see him play because he's injured. He's going to be rehabbing the entire time.
Yeah,
I know they like players they know, but we know he's hurt, right?
Right. And what did you get to know?
That's what in 2 snaps.
Yeah.
I mean, his work ethic is there, but you need availability.
That's why it comes down to money.
It has to be such a small amount of money.
This has to be nothing. This has to be
hourly employee stuff.
I know, right?
Well, it has to be really low for the cost, and then they have to have assurances from the medical staff saying 100% this guy can come back and won't be hindered at all by the previous injuries.
So you can't be counting on him. Right? You can't be saying we got Moseley, we don't need to sign somebody else. Right? I mean, you must be paying him backup money, and he's willing to accept it just because he wants a shot, and he knew this team once believed in him. But this doesn't take him out of the market for L'Jarius Sneed if they're in the market for L'Jarius Sneed. Something just hit just entered my head. Remember what Brad Holmes said a couple weeks ago? In March, April, May, you're going to wonder what we're doing. Chalk this up as one of the first.
So Justin Rogers, beat writer for the Lions, tweeted out, he talked to Mosley for a story in early January, just kept catching up on his latest rehab and what he was doing behind the scenes, and came away feeling this was a realistic possibility. And that's replying to the Adam Schefter story. So take that for whatever that means.
Yeah, I guess if they've got the medicals, there has to be a belief that this isn't a complete and total waste of time and money. Right?
Yeah.
We have to go with that. That there's doctors that are telling you it doesn't make any sense if this is a typical 2 ACL guy that has no chance of coming back. If you hit the Mega Millions, would you sign Emmanuel Moseley?
Dave Burkett tweeted out, played 2 snaps last season, mentioned him yesterday as a possibility to bring back. Kyle Meinke says extremely curious to see where the terms land. Moseley has been very good when healthy, but he's coming off back-to-back ACL injuries.
I mean, you have to really, really, really like a guy to sign him again, right? After he tore his other ACL.
Yep.
Now, they saw him, how he rehabbed. They saw how he was he was actually practicing with the team in August. He just wasn't cleared to play yet. They didn't activate him for a while. So they got to see him work. They got to see what he's like in position groups and if he could be a mentor or whatever. I find it strange. I think the word that somebody used, curious, I think it is curious. But
let's start with this assumption. The people running the Lions aren't idiots.
No,
we've kind of established that. So they do something like this. Let's go with some logical conclusions here. That the doctors have given this the okay. Absolutely, we expect his knee to be cleared and he'll 100% back. It's bad luck. Dudes have bad luck. And who is he actually replacing here? The Lions started Kindle Vildor in the NFC title game, right? So Emmanuel Moseley, is he better than Kindle Vildor?
When healthy, he should be.
So does this knock Kindle Vildor down a peg? And maybe, you start talking about releasing Will Harris or Khalil Dorsey or something like that.
I don't think this is cornerback 1 on the roster.
Nope. This is
a guy who maybe, does he compete for?
Okay, but healthy, where is he? On the current roster, if he's healthy, he's probably CB2.
Depending on what else they do in free agency.
I'm said on the current roster.
I mean, currently right now, it's he and Sutton, right?
Yeah.
So sure.
I did not expect to see this. But if it's for no money, I think we can sort of start to understand why and operate when processing a move that we didn't see coming. that this organization is not run by idiots. So a 2 ACL cornerback, there must be some logic behind this signing. 248-539-9797. Emmanuel Moseley back with the Detroit Lions. Cornerback signed from San Francisco a year ago, played 2 snaps. He was coming off an ACL in San Francisco, played 2 snaps, tore the other ACL.